On Panetta, Pentagon personnel are working to extend certain benefits to the same-sex domestic partners of U.S. service members. But is the attempt to make the military more inclusive toward one group actually making it more discriminatory toward another? Defense Secretary Leon Panetta has directed the Defense Department to immediately begin efforts to extend benefits to same-sex domestic partners of military members. The parties must complete a document formally declaring their partnership, outlining their commitment to each other and attest that they are of the same sex, meaning these benefits will not be given to heterosexual couples who are unmarried but otherwise meet the definition of domestic partners.
I think this does qualify as discrimination against opposite-sex couples who are essentially in the same position, who are unmarried but living together.
In its own 2010 report on issues related to repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, the Pentagon warned about this very scenario. Quote, if the Department of Defense creates a new category of unmarried dependent or family member reserved only for same-sex relationships, the department itself would be creating a new inequity between unmarried committed same-sex couples and unmarried committed opposite-sex couples. This new inequity, or the perception of it, runs counter to the military ethic of fair and equal treatment.
This administration is using the military for social engineering, and I think it's significant that they're actually going beyond even what they said they would do at the time that Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed.
Yet supporters of Panetta's policy directive say it's the only equitable thing to do, given that same-sex partners have few options when it comes to marriage, unlike heterosexual couples.
As long as it isn't an option for some loving, committed couples to actually get married, what the Department of Defense, I think, is doing makes sense in trying to give those gay members of the military and their families the same benefits as other members of the military.
All right, joining us now for fair and balanced debate on this hot topic, Julian Epstein, attorney and former chief minority counsel to the House Judiciary Committee, and David Wohl, a defense attorney and legal analyst. Gentlemen, welcome to you both.
Good afternoon, Shannon.
All right, David, let me ask.
Hi, Shannon, how are you?
Let me ask you about this, David. The Pentagon says, hey, listen, you know, gay couples can only get married in a handful of states. Heterosexual couples can get married anywhere, so it's their choice whether they live together or get married. We're just trying to make sure that benefits are available to everybody. Why not?
Well, number one, there are 9 different states where gay couples can be married right now, and under the full faith and credit clause of the Constitution, the government would have to acknowledge those marriages. Number two, there may be numerous reasons for straight couples not to get married. The marriage penalty, taxes make it very, very difficult. Now, the Equal Protection Clause, that's in the 5th and 14th Amendment, demand that both sexes or people with sexual preferences be treated the same. They're not doing that, and this is the same administration that is fighting the Defense of Marriage Act in the Supreme Court, saying it discriminates against gay couples, and therefore gay couples are denied equal protection. You can't have it both ways. It's got to be, you know, for both. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, Shannon.
Yeah, and Julian, is that what's happening here? I mean, the administration, in an effort to be inclusive, now tells these unmarried heterosexual couples, but you can't have any of these benefits.
I don't think you'll find very many of those unmarried opposite-sex couples to begin with. Secondly, gays aren't being given any advantage here. They're the ones who are being discriminated against, and this policy attempts to make up for that discrimination. Contrary to what David just said, the purpose of DOMA is to say that the federal government and other states do not have to recognize gay marriage in the few states that allow it. The fact of the matter is DOMA prohibits the federal government from recognizing gay marriage and therefore spousal benefits in the few states where gays can marry. It also, as you pointed out, Shannon, most states don't actually have a statute that allows for gay marriages. So if you want to extend this policy and say the policy should also extend to straight couples who are in domestic, long-term committed partnerships, that's fine. I just don't think you'll find many of those. And as for the equal protection, you know, equal protection in this case, I think any court would say that there's a rational basis for the Department of Defense extending these benefits to gay couples because gay couples don't have the options of marrying the way straight couples do. So I don't think this would have too much difficulty in passing an equal protection challenge in the courts.
David, I want to read you something that I reached out to the Pentagon for a specific comment for this story, and I want to read it to you and give you a chance to respond. It says, all heterosexual service members and their partners have the opportunity under law to marry in every state in the country. Gay and lesbian service members and their partners do not. Extension of these benefits, not restricted by the Defense of Marriage Act, is both both reasonable and fair, especially given the stresses on all families this 12th year of war. Your response?
Well, like I said, Shannon, 9 states do permit gay couples to get married, and this number is growing. You simply can't say, well, they can get married. There may be numerous reasons, and I said financially is the primary reason. I know a couple right now who's been together 10 years are not getting married because financially they can't afford it because of tax issues. So you're going to say we're going to force heterosexual couples to get married to get the same benefits that gay couples can get without being married, even though they could get married in some of the states,
David,
and we would acknowledge those marriages.
David,
it just doesn't make any sense.
Can I just point out a really basic fact that you're missing? That even, so there's two things. In most states, gay couples cannot get married, but even in states where they can get married, the federal government prohibits the Department of Defense from recognizing that marriage and therefore providing spousal benefits. And that's why you had this policy adopted. Now, if you say you want everybody to be treated equally, then I'm with you. Then what we ought to do is we ought to simply say that DOMA ought to be repealed. The federal government ought to be able to recognize gay marriages. The states ought to also recognize gay marriages. And then the standard ought to be equal as applied to both gay and straight couples.
Gentlemen,
I'm totally with you on that.
All right, gentlemen, we got to leave it there. We'll let the Supreme Court tackle this when they decide DOMA and hear the case on March 27th. In the meantime, thank you for lending us your legal expertise.
Thank you, Shannon.
All right, Shannon, you bet.
All right, the Supreme Court does tackle another one of its biggest cases this year. This week, when we come back, we're going to take a look at whether the High Court could consider the landmark Voting Rights Act a good idea, but one whose time has passed.